So a quick recap for those of you who weren't here last time or the last 2 or 3 times. Um, who left? Josh? Where Josh? Josh always.
Yes.
I don't know if it's connection or what, but he always pops out and then pops back in. There's other players do that too. I don't know if it's their connection or I guess it's connection. I can't think of anything else it could be unless they're just for shits and giggles. Um, welcome back, Josh. All right. So, quick recap. Um, you guys were flying 15 ships out of like 100 left. Every squadron elite, every time the Kelvin scout ship kind of caught up with you or found you, thanks to Commander Weber sending that beacon out to it. Um, cause when he was brainwashed. But every time they catch up to you, they do the same thing. They basically, and this has been happening for the last like 3 or 4 months. But they basically send out like an EMP that kind of wipes out your power and your warp capability, and then they attack, and then you guys flee. Whoever survives the attack just flees. Um, let me check something real quick. Okay, I don't need that anymore. How do I get rid of it though? I'll just, I guess,
He'll be back.
remove it.
Don't worry.
Who? Did someone leave?
No, you.
I didn't leave. I'm still here talking.
Oh,
Oh, you cut off there.
Did I cut
Yeah, you
off?
cut off.
That's weird. You know what? Let me make sure the bitrate is changed for this one. Okay, yeah, this was changed last time. Okay, yeah, and so you basically have to change the server and the bitrate for every channel instead of the entire server. That's so weird. Anyway, um, so yeah, that's what's been happening. And then you guys flee, and they catch up to you, they attack, you flee, etc. It's been going on for months, and you guys have been basically nonstop flying for like 3 or 4 months, and then eventually, at some point, Captain Brocata made the decision, being the fleet captain, that they were ready with the plan to deploy the Singularity Bomb and the nanites, which would deliver a virus, a computer virus, as well as a biological virus to destroy this damn Kelvin scout ship. Um, so they caught up with you again, and basically some fighting commenced. I think, if I remember correctly, only one um, ship actually attacked last session. That was the Hope of Glory, which is Captain Adams' ship, played by Mac. You did 11 damage to the Kelvin ship. I'm not going to tell you how much damage,
Yeah.
how much stress it has, but it's way more than that. So if it was a ship, like
Yes,
if it
at
was,
least.
yeah, if it was like a Miranda class ship, you would have destroyed it in one shot. But it wasn't. So
At least that turret that was aiming at one of our ships
mm.
was destroyed.
Yeah, the turret
One of
that's
many.
going to be repaired and probably, well, the turrets are not probably going to be repaired, but the hull is regenerative. It's like a bioorganic hull that can regenerate. But anyway, it's kind of like 8472 ship. Um, let's see. Commander Taylor, the first officer of the Defiant, got a migraine and kind of started feeling um, out of sorts and had to go to sickbay, where Dr. Z, or not Dr. Z, Dr. Tal. Did Dr. Tal start doing for treating him, or did we not get to that part yet?
I don't think we got to that part.
Okay, we're gonna add another person to this to sickbay in a second. Um, Also, Go Cash, the ambassador of the Laeranak, basically sent a message to the Defiant and Captain Weber saying, "Hey, we're on our way. Reinforcements are coming to back you up, so you can destroy this damn thing." Um, oh yeah, Riza was going through some shit and basically kind of start. I think her sanity's what, 4, 5, something like that.
6.
Okay, 6. So yeah, she doesn't want to ascend while being insane, so she kind of held off on that. She was making some bad rolls anyway, so Um, so yeah, that's pretty much the main things that happened. As for individual characters, um, we'll say that Chief Engineer Merc is in obviously in engineering on the Enterprise D, doing his job. Um, Captain Bratham is part of Bratham is part of Vanguard, so he would be one of the first ships to attack. Um, so if you look at urgent handouts, I have a bunch of handouts there that are urgent and important. Um, so in battle groups, which is the second one, it basically breaks down all the ships into what battle group they're in. And the Excelsior, where is the Excelsior? Is in Vanguard, I believe. Yeah. So basically, Captain Bratham, who is, I will remind you, third in command of Squadron Elite as a fleet captain. The Excelsior is kind of, uh, along with the Enterprise E, leading the attack against the Kelvin ship. Um, and then the command battle group will be the Enterprise D, the Pasteur, which is going to be the hospital ship, and the Zarina, which is um, a fighter. Um, what are those ships called? Basically, it deploys fighters. It's really big. You can see it. It's about the same size as. It's a little bit smaller than the infamous Dreadnought on Roll 20. Um, the recon wing is Voyager and the Horizon. They're basically just doing a lot of sensor scans of the Kelvin ship so they can send that information to the various other ships, especially Vanguard and Command, so they can continue doing what they're doing. Special Task Force Alpha is the one on the Charvanek. Is going to be the one that deploys the Singularity Bomb either to the bridge or the engine room, protected by the Defiant and the Morrigan. Special Task Force Bravo will deliver the Borg nanites. The infamous Dreadnought Calamari Killer, which is commanded by Captain Jita, which is one of Neil's characters, so we won't get to that today, will be the one distributing those nanites either to the Power Distribution Center or the Computer Core, so they can kind of distribute throughout the entire ship. It is going to be guarded by a Dominion battlecruiser and 20 fighters deployed by Zarina. So if you have any questions about what your ship is supposed to be doing, obviously there's the mission is there, so you can just look at that, and who's around you. Now, as for where your physical location is, let me move you to the battle grid. The ship's doing all the fighting. The Vanguard is in the ones pretty much within close range. The medium range ships are the two recon ships, and the task force, fuck, I forgot. I think it was Alpha, is kind of at long range, so weapons can still hit them, but they're not as close as the others. And then a little bit further out is Task Force Bravo, and then Command is all the way in the back. So that's pretty much, and should be obvious, but just in case it's not. This is obviously not to scale. The Kelvin ship that is currently being attacked or attacking is a lot bigger than that. This is just I'll give you a general idea of where people are located. Um, let's see if I can think of anything else. So, oh yeah, initiative order. The way I'm doing initiative order is because in normal initiative order with Star Trek Adventures, it's enemy or it's player character goes, they decide who goes. So, you decide a ship goes and then a character does something on that ship. And then the enemy goes and it goes back to player, etc. That is, if you do it the way that Modiphius does it, basically, it basically will just keep going back and forth until the Kelvin ship just destroys everyone. So that's no fun. Or if you do it in the other opposite direction that I've seen GMs do it, which is, like the Enterprise D will go, then the Kelvin ship will go, and then all of the other player character ships go. Then that will not give anybody like Trask or the Marines who are going to probably beam onto the Kelvin ship any way to really. Basically, it just simplifies it because otherwise it's going to be a chaotic clusterfuck. So basically, the only ships that will go every round is going to be the Kelvin ship and the Enterprise D. The others, it was the Horizon, but I took the Horizon out because we're missing Durlock. But the other ships are going to go based on what makes sense for the story. And like I said last time, that doesn't mean that you can't go if there's something you absolutely need to do. Like, for example, you're going to find out very soon that a lot of your power and shields have been knocked out by the EMP, so repairing them is a good idea. Um, so if you want to do that, you could be like, hey, I want to make a roll to repair our shields or our power, but no attacks. So like you can't then be like, hey, I want to go after I'm on the horizon. I want to go to attack the Kelvin ship. I'm gonna say no because that's first of all, you're on the horizon. You're not gonna do anything to the Kelvin ship. But second of all, if you do that, then I will just go as the Kelvin ship and destroy the horizon. So it's counterproductive to basically attack every other, go back and forth with attacks. It seems like it's not, but it really is. Um, let's see. That was initiative order. Momentum spends. I put a chart of momentum spends there too, just in case you guys forgot, because I know we do. We do a lot of forgetting. Minor actions and combat tasks. I also put that there in case you forgot. Um, so the two Kelvin notes, Kelvin note 1, Kelvin note 2, is just for these episodes while you're actually fighting the Kelvin ship. So you have the trait United in Galactic Defense. Reduces the difficulty to resist Kelvin psychic influence by 1. So normally it would be 5, it's down to 4. And then there's another trait called We Prepared for This. That was when you guys were in those escape room kind of things. It's +1 dice to presence, daring, and insight checks within Kelvin psychic mindscapes. So that's if you happen to fail and end up in one of those nightmare escape room things. Um, you know, you basically get a +1 to basically kind of um, deal with being in those psychic mindscapes. And it also reduces the difficulty to resist Covenant. So that goes down to 3. Um, then you got the Esper field modulators in the comm shields. That also reduces it by 1, so that reduces it to 2. So by the time you get to all that, goes down from 5 to 2 to resist psychic influence. And I will have to say that this does not include Trask on the Kelvin ship because he doesn't have any of that. And he doesn't even know about any of this other stuff, so he'll still have to roll at a 5. Plus, he's like way closer to the Kelvins. Um, then you got the other trait, which is basically I meant to actually look up what it stands for, but basically it's the plan to put the singularity bomb on the ship and also the nanites and then basically everything else. And and the words that I titled it abbreviated to Asamind. But it's a +1 d20 to all tasks related to that strategy. So as long as it's directly related to it, like transporting the bomb or flying the ship that will, to deliver the nanite, stuff like that, then it will have a +1 d20. So similar to values, you have 3 directives that you can call upon, and we'll get to determination in a second, but that you can call upon for determination. Obviously, you have the Prime Directive, research and develop the mental shards. That's for pretty much science people, and I think they're pretty much done with that, so I'm actually going to remove that before I forget. I think the plan was to continue the roleplay aspect of that, but we obviously definitely don't have time for that. Let's see. And then destroy the Kelvins, which, if you're trying to destroy the Kelvins, then, that's like your main goal right now. Um, all right. So then Kelvin Note 2. So this is, again, only for this quote-unquote episode. Basically, anytime you're fighting against this Kelvin ship. All player characters start with 3 determinations. So you guys have 3 determinations to use throughout these episodes. You don't get 3 determinations every session. You have them throughout. So you already start with 3 determinations that you can use. You still have to call upon a value or a directive, etc. But you have those 3 determinations. Role playing or calling upon vices or flaws may earn another determination after one is used with a value. So you have to use one before I will let you get another one by uh, calling upon a vice or a flaw. So like if you're like a xenophobic maniac and you're like, oh, I want to kill this Kelvin, okay, as long as you've used called upon a value first. Um, Momentum. Players start the episode with full momentum, which is 8, which you guys have not lost any since you started 2 episodes ago. Players receive 1 bonus momentum for each complication rolled by the GM. That happened last time where I was attacking and I got a complication, so I gave you guys a bonus momentum that you used for something. I don't remember what. Um, Kelvin everybody has at this moment now has a Kelvin incursion commendation. Condition: character must serve in combat against the Kelvins. Description: the character has served in combat against the Kelvins and has survived an extremely perilous situation. Due to this, the character may call upon a reserve of resiliency and determination to regain some of their strength to remain alive. They may not engage in combat for the rest of the scene unless in the service of survival and escape. Cost: free for you guys, but in the future it will be 10 reputation points for future player characters. Benefit: during a particularly perilous situation, if a character has 2 stress or less remaining to a minimum of 0, that character may spend 1 determination, 2 momentum, and 1 serious complication or vice at GM's discretion to add 2 stress up to a maximum of 4 when succeeding at a fitness command task at a difficulty of 2. So you have to do all of that, and then you could possibly get out of dying. So basically, if you get knocked down to 0, you can do all of that stuff to get 2 more stress. Those 2 stress can only be removed by the same enemy that caused the initial downfall. So if you're fighting a Kelvin hand-to-hand combat, you get knocked down to 2 or less, and then you do all that and you get up to like 3 or 4, you better run, because if he knocks you down, that's it. If he kills you again, that's it. You're dead. So that's pretty much your fuck. What are they called? Death saving throws for this. All right. I think that's all of the catch up. There's a couple other things though I need to. Who's blooping in and out? Is that someone here or is that someone somewhere else?
Josh.
No, it's the the program crashes on my phone. I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
no,
still
you're good.
driving, and it
That's
just
okay.
randomly crashes on me. I don't know
That,
why.
you're good, man. I was just wondering because I was talking and I was like, I hope they heard that. I hope they heard what I was saying. But yeah, no. Just let me know when you get to the house or whatever, so you can, get on Roll20 and all that good stuff. So one thing I asked Mac and Z last game is if they had any if they still had any personal bonus momentum from when they did R&R. Josh, do you have any for Merc or?
No, I think I've used it all when because I don't trust my rolls, so I think I've spent all that to try to get my rolls up.
Fair enough. And what about D-Man? Does Trask or Graham or Salak have any? I better eat these French fries. You there, D-Man?
Second, let me look.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Second.
Ugh. I was gonna eat these fries, but they're so freaking cold. Oh yeah, gotta do something real quick. Is your character sheet acting up?
Yeah,
I love when they do that. Not really.
it wouldn't expand. I mean, I think Trask.
Anyway,
Trask has 4.
okay. Wow, that's a lot. And that's I'm assuming original trash. So yeah, you're probably gonna need to use those. Also,
Yeah,
don't forget about your sanity stats. Riza's at 6, so she's kind of a little bit loopy. But if you got, especially if your sanity's less than 7 or less, make sure you role play it because um, I may be giving out momentum or milestones or what's the other thing? Oh yeah, determination for those of you who are doing it well. If you have like a sanity of 8 or 9 and you act crazy, I'm not gonna take that. Like that's that you basically make sure that you yeah, you don't go all the way with it. Just make it so that it makes sense. Why was that so short? Anyway, all right. Um, so I need all of your characters for Josh and oh, actually no, scratch that.
Josh and Merc.
I need no. Um, I actually need to do this for Durlock because he's not here, and Neil. I rolled it for Weber already. Basically, just it's just sanity checks. But yeah, I got to do it for Durlock's once again. Dun, 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 dun. All right, he does not have any focuses that apply. All right, so Taylor is in the infirmary, getting worse. Um, he's kind of out of it, and he kind of basically is telling Dr. Tall that he's looking around and saying, "I don't remember what, where am I? What is this place? I don't remember being here."
Right. I look at him and say, just take a deep breath. You are, or at least you should be on the Defiant. We are on Defiant, right?
Yes, you're still in the Defiant. Yep.
Let me take a look at you, and I'll try and sort of scan it.
All right. Reason medicine difficulty. It'll be a scale difficulty, so depending on how many successes you get, will give you some information. So as long as you get one success, you'll get something at least. But the full difficulty is, like 5.
Oh yeah. Once.
And as you're doing this, the lights are flickering. It's a lot more dim than it was a few moments ago before you guys got knocked out of warp. And you hear in a corner there's like a subspace panel that you can hear comms between engineering crews, basically saying that the power on the Defiant is draining. They still have 10% of shields left, but their power is draining. And in addition to that, you overhear that there has been 3 breaches. Oh, one thing I do gotta remind myself mainly, but tell you guys is, since everyone took 12 damage last game, that's 2 breaches because every 5 damage is a breach if I remember correctly. So let me know when you roll. You can, Mac, can you roll for the actually I'm on the Defiance character sheet. I'll roll for the ship too to help you out. But there is a breach in
I got a 4.
communications. Okay, cool. There is a breach in communications, engines, and I'll say, you know what? I'll say, actually, I think I'm gonna roll for it because I rolled for the other ones, so I'm just gonna roll for it. Come on, land. There it is. Of course, it's computers. So, and the computers is the computers are. Let me look at the thing. Disabled, so I think that adds a difficulty to it. So let me see. All right. Scale 3 ship. Excuse me. 2 breaches. Damage it. Okay, so it's not. You're still good as far as breaches go, but if you get 2 on anything, then it's pretty much damaging the system. But let me go ahead and roll real quick, and it basically damaging the system increases the difficulty by 1. There we go. All right. Oh, nice. So you got your full workup. Yeah, you're scanning them with the tricorder, and it looks like Taylor is. You're seeing memory engrams just kind of like disappearing, just being overwritten. You're relatively certain that it's the work of the Kelvins. You could see that same neural pathways that you guys saw, I believe, several episodes ago when somebody basically, I think it was Verena because she's an android, basically like tried to look at the scanning device and saw the brain waves. Basically, one brainwave, the Kelvins, was overwriting another brainwave, and you're seeing the same kind of thing. And as soon as you figure out, basically the Kelvins are kind of psychically attacking him, he kind of passes out. And no sooner that he does that, you hear static, and then you hear the words, Weber incapacitated, and that's pretty much it. You got a lot of static, but you're able to make out those 2 words. What do you do?
Hmm. This is for Defiant, right?
Yep. So far, you're in the sick bay, but you're um, Taylor's the only one so far who's there with you. Um, but that's not to say that others won't come in for various reasons. Uh, but you do
Right.
know that Weber, you got that message that it sounds like they were saying that Commander Weber is incapacitated, which Taylor's the first officer. So if Weber and Taylor are incapacitated, then I think your character's lieutenant commander, so it would probably fall to you.
Hmm. That's not good. I'm not a well. My character's not a leader or a commander of any kind. Okay. So I will. I guess I'll press on the communication badge, and I'll contact security, and I'll say, if there's anyone out there listening, go check on our captain, our XO, and keep communications. Let's try to get this ship at least in working condition for the time being, and let's try our best. Um, I am dealing with some folks right here in the infirmary, so I can't really do much other than that. I'm trying to do my job.
Roger
And
that, sir.
do I hear anything?
Yeah, one of the security deputies says, "Roger that, sir. We're sending some deputies there to the bridge to find out what's going on now." But you will notice that the communications is it's very staticky. It's very the volume's low, almost like it's gilded. But you do make out that they acknowledged you and are sending security to the bridge. Um, Speaking of which, all right. Now we're gonna jump back into because that was to kind of write Weber out, but now we're gonna jump back into combat rounds. Um, on the Enterprise D on the bridge, you have Captain Bricata in her captain's chair, Ensign Graham at helm, Ensign Verena at ops, Ensign Vijarn at one of the auxiliary security stations, Chief Security McDaniels at tactical, Commander Lasco is the XO, the VIP is Admiral Riker, and one of the science officer Vulcans, I think his name was Karunik or something, in the back. Um, you guys on the bridge, I wouldn't say it's chaotic, but you do know that EMP that took you guys out of warp did some serious damage to your ship, more than just taking you out of warp. Um, if power was something that you could calculate in, say, an RPG, you would have one power left. You have 5 shields and you have 2 breaches. One of the breaches, let me open it up. If you're looking at the Enterprise D character sheet, is in the engines, obviously, because that was what they targeted. Um, oh shit! I guess I rolled the wrong fucking thing. I don't know how I did that. Let me open Defiant and change. No, I guess I didn't. What the hell? There's not 3 breaches. Oh well. But one of the breaches is in the engines, of course, and the other is in sensors. Um, Captain Bricata hits a button on her chair. Bricata to engineering. Get the warp core back online immediately, Lieutenant. You there, Josh?
Yeah, I like to build suspense. That's what it is.
Well, you
Yeah.
succeeded at that.
So, yeah, no, my phone locked, and anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Mark has his sleeves rolled up. You know, he's working on it. I guess I would do I try to repair action if I remember the rules correctly in the combat. I can do a repair action.
Yep.
Or attempt to start doing a repair action.
Yep. So it depend if you're. Well, I don't want to assume too much, but are you trying to repair the warp core or the damaged sensors?
Well, I guess we'll go with the captain said. I'll go with the warp core, the engines first.
Okay, that is what I assumed. All right, so the difficulty are you ready for this? Is going to be 5 with a complication range of 5. Um, this is my version of an extended task, which is basically you're gonna roll 5. You're gonna roll high difficulty rolls multiple times, but if you succeed in the first one, it makes the next one easier and so forth. So like I said, you can use. I'm gonna say daring engineering because you guys are in a kind of perilous situation at the moment. Difficulty 5, complication range 5. She is going to give you some bonus momentum with her uh
Will rally me.
yes. Is that the? I might have to look it up, but it's oof. Actually, you know what?
Basically,
Due to I can't actually even roll for her, due to character reasons. But yeah, basically she's telling you what to do anyway, which you know. What was you gonna say, Mac?
basically, Lasgo would turn around and say, "We should send Ensign Verona down to help with the engines."
As you say that, you could see that she's rubbing her temple, and she squints at you like she's having trouble seeing you, and then she just nods and says, "Make it so."
He
Okay,
keeps
what
a
can you
watchful eye on her.
Sorry,
Goes,
I didn't hear
"Ensign,
either one of you.
Verona." Basically, he keeps a watchful eye on her,
Okay.
but he goes, "Bruno, go down to engineering to help Chief Engineer Merc."
She stands up, says, "Yes, sirs," and like an android, like a robot, walks out. Um, Let me see if I have anyone to take over. You know what? I'll just have Karunik walk over and take over. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and make that roll, that difficulty 5 roll? It's going to take a few seconds or a few moments for her to get to engineering. Um, but actually, yeah. Go ahead and. Sorry, what was that?
Well, since I'm in engineering, if I remember right, I'm actually at my native station, so that takes one difficulty down, or is that not going to work here?
Sure. We'll say difficulty 4, a complication range of 5. And remember, you have full momentum. Um, Now, Lasco, do you want to assist in some way? Now, you do have engineering skills, but you also have your command. You know what? Let me actually, I just need to pull this out. Oh, hold on a second
Okay.
while I whip this out. Wait, what?
And Lasgo actually,
He could,
he's
he could
really
direct,
cool.
or what? Sorry, what was you saying? I was jumping the gun there.
Because he's good at engineering, can he command like give advice to
Yeah.
him how to actually do it?
Yeah, that I was kind of gonna say that he could do that. So, there are a few things that you could do. So, if you want to assist, well, that's already included. Let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, direct. The CO provides clear, concise orders or advice in this case. Choose one other officer, which would be Merc, currently on the bridge. Oof. Screw it. I'll say you're on stuff. Oh, actually, yeah, your communications are good. So yeah, you're able to communicate with them, so it's fine. The CO assists this task using the command discipline, or you could rally. Basically, if you rally, you roll control, reason, or presence with command, and then it's a difficulty 0. So whatever bonus momentum you get goes straight to Merc's, task. So which one of those two do you want to do?
Control
So you want to do
command.
rally.
I
You
want
want
to try and inspire him,
Mm.
like
Well,
the type of rally.
yeah, role play that. How does Lasco do that? How does he do that?
He goes, Merc, I know your engineering skills have been lacking, but I think you've got the potential to make it in engineering. I think you could be one of the best Ferengi engineers possible. I know you can do this.
Typical Cardassian.
Yeah, typical Cardassian, Bajoran.
I know your skills
know
are
you-
lacking. For a Ferengi, I guess you're okay.
Like, yeah, skills may be lacking, the last couple of weeks, but I think you got this.
All right.
You're
Yeah. Roll.
I see the potential.
Well, where's the? That's more like a presence roll, though. Where's the control come in? It would be something like he would give him advice on to how to like control his nerves or something.
He goes,
Mer-
control your nerves, and I think you got this in this. Just calm down, take deep breaths. You got this.
Merc would go, I appreciate that, I guess, Commander. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem.
All right.
That one actually helps, Shoal.
Yeah. All right. Well, you roll 2 actually, because you're doing a rally, not a direct. A direct is basically. I think the direct is. Yeah, the direct is. Oh wow! So you have 3 bonus momentum. So you could use those 3 bonus momentum to add dice. Do you want to use a determination? Like you have a lot of options.
Yeah, I want to definitely use it to add dice to the roll. That'll buy me
Okay.
2. Forgive me. How many dice? I know
Well,
it'll normally buy me 2 dice.
Yeah,
but how
for
many-
me, it buy you 3. So you got full dice. So you can, and I'll actually roll for the ship. However, as you are about to do this, you notice that it's taking a surprisingly long time for Verena to show up to engineering.
Oh, really? I thought she was already there and rallying me. Or no?
No, that was Lasco, the XO.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have. I guess he doesn't have time to check that out just yet. Maybe he'll notice it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. The ship unfortunately cannot assist due to the fact that you're fixing something that the ship is currently broken.
Oh, can you roll for me? I'm sorry. I just
yeah.
pulled in the.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry.
Yep, no, you're good. Let me see. There it is. Alright, so it's daring, which is not bad, that's a 10, and engineering, which is a 4. Alright, and 5. And let's see, focuses, definitely not impulse. Starship scanners, no. Warp field geometry, that'll work. Let's see what you get. Wow! 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
You just need to roll. You need to roll all the time for me, really.
Basically. Alright, so the good news is you have 2 bonus momentum. You have warp. Oh no, you're going to have warp drive. But you have to use those, in the future if you succeed. But you got to use those 2 bonus momentum for something involving the warp or something involving the maintenance of the ship. It doesn't necessarily have to be the warp drive. Maybe you could move on to something else, or it's up to you how you want to do that. But those 2 bonus momentum have to be used for something this scene.
Can I attempt to restore power? You said we're down to 1 power.
Let's see. Yes, you are. So you would be able to put it up to 3 power with 2.
Okay, yeah,
2
let's
bonus.
do that then.
All right. So you are at 3 power. So, let's see. I gotta find this.
Turns around and says, "Yeah, see, no problem. We got it. See,
You're
No.
getting there.
Yep.
You're getting there. All right.
Lasgo's are proud of you. Yep.
All right. So we are now gonna go. Unless there's something pressing that Ensign Graham wants to do, because last game I think I actually rolled for Graham to pilot the ship. He doesn't have to pilot it this time, but unless there's something else we're gonna that you want Graham to do, we're gonna jump to the horizon where Salak is currently located.
Go for it.
All right. So. Salak, where are you at this moment? I will say that if you're on the bridge, you would notice that Captain Callister is not on the bridge. The first officer is there, and yeah, but your captain is not there, which is kind of strange in and of itself.
Yeah, that would be.
Do you take initiative to go and look for him? Do you try to contact him, or do you just kind of remain as the quote unquote de facto XO for the acting captain of Commander McConnell.
Commander McConnell, do you know where the captain is?
He kind of gives you like a sideways look as he's looking at the view screen, which basically has like a kind of like a stellar cartography grid pattern showing like the various sectors being scanned. And he looks over to you. He says, I mean, he was here when all of this started. I don't know. He said he would be gone for a couple of minutes, but it's obviously been a lot longer than that. Do you? Uh, he hits a button on his armchair, and McConnell to Captain Callister gets no response. He looks over to you and he says, "Well, your mother put you on this ship for a reason. What do you suggest?"
Um, I guess try to use internal sensors to find him.
It's a good idea. As he's about to turn to the science officer to give them that order, um, the the screen that shows the sector being scanned, it kind of fuzzles. He's like calls to engineering. He says, "We need more power to those damn computers. Our sensors are doing great, but those computers are damaged somehow. Get them back up to snuff." And they're like, "Sir, we're doing our best, but we are literally out of power and shields, and we have 3 breaches. I don't know if we can do what you ask in a timely fashion." He says, "Understood. Just do your best," and he hits his panel. Um, and as he's about to look over to you to give you to say something to you, another voice comes over the intercom, and you'll recognize it as one of the civilian scientists aboard, Verlisle. She's an Andorian that you may have met in passing, but you would definitely know that she is Lieutenant Commander Taylor's wife. Lieutenant Commander Taylor is the human XO aboard the Defiant. She says, "Bridge, this is Verlisle. I'm trying to get into Science Bay 3, but I seem to be locked out. This is my duty station for general quarters. I don't understand what's going on." And then McConnell basically gives you that look like, and then gives you a nod, indicating to kind of check it out.
On my way.
And then as you get up, he says, "And if you can do anything about these damn breaches, I'd appreciate it. But don't stress yourself. We've got people for that."
Indeed.
All right, I need
Uh,
all right. So as you're in the turbo lift, I need you to make a sanity check. I need you to roll control or presence medicine, difficulty 2. You guys are still at full momentum, and of course you have your 3 determination. So if you want to use that, you may.
um, I get my difficulty goes down 1 because of the Colinar thing.
Okay. So difficulty 1. Nice. So you have a bonus momentum. So yeah, you could feel that these. In fact, if you want to use that bonus momentum, I can give you some perhaps useful information. It might not be useful. You might not use it for anything, but it'll kind of give you an insight as into the Kelvin mind if you want it.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
So you could feel the presence of this gigantic intellect like pressing upon you, but you also get the distinct feeling that it seems to feel different than before, because your character has been through this before, and it suddenly kind of occurs to you that a lot of the psychic attacks that may be going on, because some of it is definitely attacks, like they're actually tight beam transmitting their thoughts into people, and then other times it's just the fact that they're in the room or in the parsec with you is just their telepathic ability is so immense and strong that it just naturally oppresses everything around it. So you get the feeling that in this case it's unintentional, and that in a lot of cases it's probably unintentional, especially the closer you are to these Kelvin beings. All right, so you sorry, go ahead.
I'll say to the select to the bridge.
McConnell here.
Um, I suggest we get as much distance as we can and maintain to be in firing range. Uh, the closer you are to the Kelvin ships, the greater their influence on you, whether they're intentionally attacking or not.
Good to know. We're currently at medium range. The command wing wants us to remain at medium range, but we can back off a little bit, maybe a few hundred kilometers, and that should help.
Roger that. Just thought you'd know. Want to know, Captain.
Thank you very much.
Lock out.
All right, so I'll move you to here to show you basically. So basically, they move to like the outer perimeter of medium range, and the turbolift doors open onto deck 5 or some random deck where there's a science lab, and as you're heading towards the science lab, um, you notice that Science Lab 3's doors are closed. There's nobody outside of them. And when you kind of step in front of them, they're supposed to just open on their own, but they do not.
Computer, what is wrong with the doors to Science Lab 3?
Command lockouts have been engaged.
On whose authority?
Captain Sean Callister, USS Horizon.
um, Select a bridge.
McConnell here.
The captain has engaged lockouts on the Science Lab 3.
I'll see what I can do from here. But you'll probably have better luck with your skill in computers at the panel just outside the door. But I'll assist the best I can.
Wunderbar.
What'd you say?
I said Wunderbar.
What does that mean? Like wonderful?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you want to do that, never trusted. Yeah. If you want to do that, then that'll be a control science or engineering, which I'm guessing you're gonna pick science. If you have a computer focus or anything like that, maybe even Starfleet protocols, that will apply. And I will assist with McConnell. The ship will not assist because, as far as the ship is concerned, the captain is doing nothing wrong.
Okay.
Whoops, wrong one. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, he's going to. He used to be a pilot, so he has really good control and command. Oof. No assist, but You can tell that as you're, typing on the panel outside the door, you could definitely tell that you're going to be able to get through it relatively quickly, probably in the next like 3 or 4 minutes. But it is going. I mean, you are hacking, the captain's command code essentially. So it won't be this scene, but next scene you will definitely be able to get through. All right, we are going to jump to the Defiant. And let's see, where's the Defiant? There it is. Oh, that's the Defiant bridge, which he is not there, but oh well. So, what is... Oh yeah, that's right. So, Dr. Tall is in sick bay, and Taylor is still unconscious, and communications is gotten worse, so you can tell that the security people that went to the bridge tried to contact you, but it did not. Like, you basically heard security to sick bay, and then it just cut out. And then every time you try to kind of get back in touch with them, it does not go through.
Right. And at the moment, who is present at the med bay?
For now, it's just you, and I mean it's a Defiant, so it's a tiny sick bay, but it's just you and the XO, Lieutenant Commander Taylor.
Right. Okay. Hmm. And if I scan him, like, what kind of do I get a pulse, for instance? Is there?
Yeah, no, he's just unconscious. Like, you can tell, and for free, I could tell you that, just running a tricorder. I think you did you scan him last game, if I remember correctly.
I scanned him just now, I think, but not.
Okay, so yeah, no, you could tell that the Kelvin's natural psychic influence is affecting him, but he isn't going to be recovering anytime soon. He's gonna be remained unconscious as far as you can tell. And you think,
Well,
and just as an added bonus, you think that if you gave him any kind of boost or stimulant to kind of get him back from unconscious, that really isn't going to be good for his psyche or his physical health.
right. Well, I guess as long as he's, I guess, in a stable state, I will try and head to the bridge.
All right, I'm gonna need
See
Dr.
if I can
Tall
find something.
to roll control or presence medicine, difficulty 2, unless you have something to reduce it.
Oh yes, I do. So control medicine, I will use a healing hands, which attempting control medicine, you reduce difficulty by 1.
Of course, because he's a doctor. Asking a doctor to roll control medicine, the worst idea ever. But yes, go ahead.
Yes.
And I assume this has something to do with me trying to escape something, or?
No, but the Kelvin psychic influence.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at the moment you could tell it's, well, you don't know, but it is an unintentional consequence of the. I mean, you guys aren't as close as the Horizon was, but you're still, in its vicinity. So you still have to roll for it every once in a while.
All right. We still have 2 bonus momentum, don't we?
No, that was used. And even
Oh,
if it
that was
wasn't, it doesn't go from scene to scene. So yeah, that was used.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. And how many momentum do we have?
You're at full.
Normal.
8. Yep.
Well, I get 2, so that's 2 more dice.
All right. So you're at 6 momentum. Oh, wow! And I didn't even increase the complication range. I was thinking about doing that. Okay. So are you going to use 4 momentum to get rid of those 2 complications? The good news is you are actually at 7 momentum, so it would put you down to 3. Or maybe just get rid of 1 and see what happens with the other one.
Yeah, I think 1 is enough. Yeah, that's too much.
Okay.
We might need them later.
Yeah, you will definitely need them later. So yeah, you start to feel a migraine as you're walking down the corridor. You get into the turbo lift and you start to get dizzy. And what is your set? Do you have a? Did you ever make a sanity stat for your character? I
I think
don't.
I did, yeah, and I think it was a 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, you shouldn't be at 2. Everyone starts at 10. Uh,
Oh, I mean like -2, like for instance.
oh, so you'd be at 8.
So,
Yeah,
Okay.
8.
So put it down to 7. You can still do your job, but you're starting to see things in the corner of your eyes. You're starting to feel an uncontrollable amount of dread. You're starting to think that you're probably not going to survive this battle.
oh dear. Well, I mean, if I'm going down, I also talk to myself now. If I'm going down, I might as well go down as a healer. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
do my best.
All right. Let's see. Did you? No, you haven't actually rolled a task. So you get to the bridge, and the doors are locked out, but not command locked out. They're security locked out. So it would be a control security difficulty 2 to open them.
Right. Security. Yeah, I don't have any focuses whatsoever. Okay. Yeah, no. Let's try.
Ooh,
Oh dear.
you just love them 20s. Um, so yeah, you're typing on the panel next to it, like what the hell, and it doesn't. Not only does it not open, but now like the security encryption just gets harder. So next time it'll be a difficulty 3. That's what the complication will be, unless you want to get rid of the complication, but you've already failed. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna try. I'm not a security.
All right.
But
All right, we're gonna jump to the Excelsior. Hey Josh, are you on your computer?
Yeah, I'm here. I
Cool.
need to load up, I guess, Ratham's character sheet because I had Mercs up.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see. Find your. There it is. I had to use a different token from the one that you had for Bratham because I just could not find your picture. Um, I couldn't even find it on Sci-Fi Avatars, which is where I think you actually got it from. And I remember I don't remember who the actor was, but I remember exactly what he looked like. He had a big grin on his face. All right.
Yeah, this looks better. He looks more happy to be there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the space combat grid. So you are here, and you are in close range, firing weapons. Now, difficulty to hit a moon-sized target is not 2; it's 1. However, the difficulty for it to hit you is actually 2. However, you do know that if you get within reach of these tentacles, they will do a lot of damage to you. So, my question, I have a couple questions. Number one, my question is, do you want to roll your sanity check now or after you do whatever you're going to do? And the other question is, what do you want to do?
I guess I do after. Wait,
Okay.
do I have a crew or just or
Yeah. No.
If I wanted to fire, do I do that or do I tell them to do that?
Oh no, if you tell them to fire, then I'll basically have to roll. Hold on, I gotta change something. Um, fuck him. There it is. I'll basically have to roll some dice and just see what happens.
Okay.
Cause
Is this?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, is this ship damaged or is it experienced?
So yes, every ship is damaged a little bit. So let's see, the Defiant. Okay.
Man.
Yeah. So the good news is you're not in the red like Defiant or Horizon. So your power is down to 1, but you still have 6 shields left, and you only have 2 breaches, which everybody has at least 2. So you're not doing too badly as far as the breaches go. So what do you want to do?
I guess I'd have the weapons officer try to target torpedoes.
All right. So
now the helmsman roll for evasive maneuvers.
Okay, so just make sure you pull up your. You should be able to pull up the Excelsior character sheet. Your ship has some things. So number one, your ship has. Actually, let me change this. Transphasic torpedoes.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's instead of because your ship doesn't have actual photon torpedoes, they have quantum torpedoes and transphasic torpedoes. So both torpedoes require calibration, which, if I remember correctly, means that it's going to take a turn. Like, once you decide that you're going to fire them, it takes a turn so you can calibrate them. If you
Oh,
don't,
okay.
then the complication range is increased, I think. So it's up to you if you want to fire phasers, torpedoes, or if you want to try to repair something. But yeah, that's up to you.
We'll have the yeah, we'll have.
Actually,
Well, I guess if we go if we go around the horn, I'll have the engineer try to get the engine breach under control, and I would have the helmsman to do evasive maneuvers. That should make it more difficult to hit me.
okay, just
And I'll
let
have
me
the science.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
Let me correct myself real quick. So the calibration, the weapon requires careful calibration before firing. The weapon cannot be used to attack unless a prepare minor action is performed during the same turn. So you could still do it on the same turn, but you can't do any minor actions because you're going to be using the prepare minor action. So you won't be able to move or basically do anything else besides just tell the guy to shoot the torpedoes, basically.
Okay. Well, what that's why I get a little confused. Can if does each person operate independently, or do I tell them? Because I know I don't have a full
So
staff.
okay,
Forgive me. I don't know how you
no,
run
you're
it.
good. You're
I don't know
good.
how you
So
run
I think I said this last time, but I probably didn't say it this time. So with 15 ships with thousands of NPCs and dozens of player characters, if everybody went every time, then it would be chaos and we'd never get anything done. So basically, whatever your action is going to be your action. So if you want to tell the security chief to fire torpedoes, then you can assist with your direct action, or you can do a rally, and that will be your action. And then I will roll for the security chief and the ship, and then we'll see what goes from there. But I can't have like us going back and forth and you wanting your ops officer to do one thing and your pilot to do another, and like that's probably not going to happen. So because you're in the captain
Okay.
seat,
I
you
need to
have
know.
no, you're good. Because you're in the captain seat, you have the advantage of being able to think, okay, what do I want my crew to do? And then when I come to you, like I am now, then you can be like, I want the pilot to move, or I want the tactical officer to fire. And but you can only do one of those because you're only one person, and each person, unless you have a talent or spend momentum or do whatever, you can only go have one action. You get a minor action and a combat task action. So your minor action would, in this case, if you wanted to fire torpedoes, would be to prepare the torpedoes, and then which basically it just wastes a minor action, but that's what the book says. And then your actual action would be the direct or the rally or something like that to basically give the order to fire the torpedoes, and then I will just roll for the ship and the NPC. So technically, it would be two actual actions because the NPC would be going and you would be going, but that having you give the action the order and then going a whole round before the security chief fires is to me wastes a whole lot of time. So I will just roll for the
Okay.
NPC.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
No,
Yeah.
you're good.
I didn't know how it was running. Okay. So in that event, I guess my minor action will be prepare,
Okay.
and I won't launch them this time. And I'll tell the helmsman to roll for evasive maneuvers so we won't get hit while we're preparing.
No, the prepare action, so you can prepare and then fire in the same turn. You know what I'm saying? The prepare is just to waste the minor action, so that you basically, if you're going to use transphasic or quantum torpedoes, you don't get a minor action. Basically, that's what they're trying to do with the mechanics of that.
Oh, okay,
So so
okay.
so so you could either pilot.
Alright.
So basically, if you prepared it, yes, next turn you could fire the torpedoes without preparing it. That's true, but you also wouldn't be able to fire the torpedoes now. So it just depends what's more important to you, the piloting or the firing the torpedoes. Whichever you can do either one now.
Um. Well. Okay. w- mm, okay. We can fire it now. That's fine.
Okay. So next time you could just say, pilot, evasive maneuver pattern alpha or whatever, and then I'll roll for the NPC and the ship, and it'll be fine. Um,
Okay.
okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the ship because it's just an assist and it's easier. Weapons which are
Yeah.
not breached.
Yeah. Captain's not so. Uh. Captain's not so tactically inclined,
It's okay.
so he might not
Well,
be so good at this.
no, you're good. this is our first, I think, in 4 years, our first major combat encounter. So it's space combat encounter anyway. So are you going? Are you giving a direct? Are you directing or are you rallying? So basically, are you going to assist or are you going to basically roll a difficulty 0 so you can give him bonus momentum?
I would. Well, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and let the him roll. Yeah, because he's not. I'm not going to do any good. I'm not going to do any good rolling for that. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll rally him.
Well, your direct it would be a presence command. So you should have a good presence command because you're a captain.
Yes.
So rally would be so both of them would be presence command. The only difficulty is one is an assist and one is a main roll.
Oh, we'll just do this for momentum so they can buy more dice.
Okay.
I guess.
That's fine.
rally.
So so far he just to let you know what he's got. He's got 3 successes. Difficulty to hit was 1. So anything extra will basically be momentum. So yeah, go ahead and roll presence command and let me and don't forget to role play the rallying because that's always fun.
Okay. And it says Merc, but it's Bratham's sheet. So you say, I know this isn't what I would normally do, but I want you to hit him. And can you hit them? I just couldn't target him. I know you're really good at this. This is your time to shine. Let's strike him. Let's strike him hard. That's
Nice. All right. So he definitely hit him. Do you want to spend the? Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I saw that it was devastating quality.
Yeah.
Can we use the momentum to inflict more damage?
I think so. I'm going to go ahead and hit that and see what happens. All right, so I have to do some math now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 normal hits, and then hold on, let me pull up the book. So you want to add the 3 to add damage, you said? The 3 bonus momentum?
Yeah.
14,
Yes, please.
15, 16, 17. All right, so you're at 17 damage, and let me see Pierce's 5. What? I think that just adds 5 more damage, but I want to make sure. Oh, no, that gets through his resistance, I think. This attack ignores X points of target's total resistance for each effect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 attacks. Let me look at the actual resistance. I may have not put resistance on the character sheet because it's so massive. Oh yeah, that's a lot of resistance. Let's see. The attack ignores 5 points of the target's total resistance for each effect rolled. So it would ignore 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 resistance. So that leaves 5 resistance left. So 17 minus 5 is 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. So you're at 12 total damage so far. All right, let's see what the devastating does. Engineering task to repair. Oh yeah, that's going to be hard for them to do. High yield. The weapon inflicts massive damage. If the attack inflicts 1 or more breaches in a system, it inflicts 1. Okay, so yeah, they're gonna have a lot of breaches. But the way I'm keeping up with breaches is a bit different since it is a gigantic enemy vessel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let's go into their character sheet again. And I'm going to roll to see what breaches they get. Ooh, 1 in communications. And that was 12, so they get 2 breaches. 2 in communications. Unfortunately, they're going to have to get all breaches in order to destroy those systems because they're so big. And I believe I didn't put the breaches in last time, so they should have 2 breaches. Shit, I accidentally threw my dice. Oh well, I'm not going to look for it right now. It's an old one I got for free anyway. Alright, sensors and structure. Alright, so you got 4 breaches for their ship total. 2 for the Hope of Glory and 2 from the Excelsior. All right, awesome. Is there anything else, kind of like minor that you want to do? Obviously not like attacking or anything, but anything like role play wise or anything?
No, he's a good shot. I knew you had it in you. What? But how many breaches? Which system has the most breaches, or is there a tie?
It's
Pretty meta even.
communications. It's they have 2 in communications, but I think you have to get like 6 to knock out their communications. Technically, you should have to get
Uh,
more because they're really big, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have it like the Borg. Like they basically have nodules everywhere that control stuff. So if you knock out their 6
yeah.
nodules, you knock out their communications.
Okay. No,
All
he would just he would just congratulate his crew. He'd be like, I knew you could do it. I knew, you're awesome. The whole crew is awesome. I knew you could do it. And he just
right.
try to be empathetic to everybody.
Oh yeah.
He's not really a um, tactical guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
So,
All right.
so I can say to my turn, I guess.
Well, except for the sanity roll that you have to roll.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah. Control or presence medicine. And if you get a complication, I'm gonna say you do forget about something.
Control presence. No, control medicine. You said.
Control or presence medicine. So you can pick presence or control. Difficulty 2 unless you have something that reduces it. Oh, nice. So you
Oh man,
you got it.
I usually don't roll like this.
I know.
Roll like
Well,
this.
it's because it's
Okay.
not Merc. It's because it's not Merc.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
All right. On the Kelvin ship. Fuck. I hope. Oh, there it is. So last time, Trask had noticed that there was a bright light at the end of a tunnel. Basically, what looked to be kind of escape pod looking things, as well as like airlocks, and basically things that would lead him to believe that in this direction, he can escape in some fashion. I'm going to need you to roll a sanity check, though. Control or presence medicine, difficulty 5, complication range 5.
Oh, sure. Just make him insane on the ship.
He's already half insane. What is his sanity anyway?
7.
Yeah, he's losing it, which would make sense considering he's on the Kelvin ship.
Yeah, and he's seeing the monsters.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he is seeing the monsters. Except he's seeing the monsters, but then when he gets into this escape pod room looking thing, he happens to notice that there are pods along the walls, like in these little these window looking things that have light coming out of them. There are tentacle creatures that are slowly phasing in and out of reality, and then when they reappear, they look like humanoids. There's one that looks like an Andorian. There's actually a lot of them that look Andorian, and then there's a couple that look like Vulcan and Klingon and different species of humanoids. But yeah, you could definitely tell that they're changing their form for some reason. I wonder what that is. So yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's see how crazy you go.
I've got 4 bonus.
I would definitely use those.
I got 4 R&R momentum anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Into-
7 moments.
I can only do 3, because that'll give me 5 dice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, use the 3, and then you'll have 1 left over for probably the next sanity
Grabs
roll.
and giggles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my skill survival,
Your skill? You mean your talent?
focus, whatever.
Focus? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's definitely gonna work here. Ooh.
Damn.
All right. So you go down 2 in your sanity to 5. The complication is that. I'm trying to think of a good complication for your character. You're getting such a headache that future insight, like perception rolls, and any kind of perception or insight, basically anything involving your eyes or your ears, is going to be at increased difficulty. And that's for the 1 complication. So do you want to use any momentum to get rid of... you can use your bonus momentum to get rid of complications, by the way. So if you want to get rid of one or both, you can.
Well, I'll use the R&R momentum I have. I got one R&R momentum. I'll use that.
All right. So it takes 2 momentum to get rid of a complication. So are you going to use the one of the 7 that y'all have to?
Yeah, I'll use it.
All right. All right. So and are you going to get rid of both of them or just the one?
Just the one.
Okay. All right. So +1 difficulty. I'm gonna just write this note down. To future perception checks. Not that that's going to come up later at all. Um,
Why? He doesn't have to look for anything. What the hell? He's just gonna run around the ship blindly.
oh, look what's here in my notebook. A perception check. No. Well, what I will say is at the end of this tunnel, because there are like airlocks and escape pods and stuff. But at the end of this ugly ass tunnel, you see you see lights coming from 2 different directions, and you see what looks to be, which you can only imagine what their version of EPS conduits would look like. But they're on the outside of the walls, not the inside. It's like who cares about safety protocols? But yeah, and they kind of go into one room, and in another room you can hear the throbbing of what sounds like a warp core of some sort. So essentially, you're finding paths to different parts of the ship. The question is, what is your character going to do with that information, if he cares at all?
Well, originally he was trying to get out. Head towards the warp core, because nothing bad can happen to him there.
All right, he heads towards the engine room. Oh, yeah, I am going to actually need an insight security check. Difficulty 5. It was a 4, now it's a 5. And I am going
What's the
to.
complication range? Just
Well,
regular?
I'm increasing it to 4 with 2 moments or 2 threat. What's my threat at? My threat is at 27, I believe. Yeah, so I'm at 25 now.
What was it? Control what? Or
It's insight security. Difficulty 5, complication range 4. Man, you didn't even try on that. You didn't buy no dice or nothing. Man. Alright, so you notice as you're leaving, you're not leaving the escape room area, but you're like on the way towards the engine room area, that corridor. You feel something on your leg, and before you realize it, or before you could do anything about it, you realize that there is a life form crawling up your leg, and it kind of goes up under your tunic, your jacket, and you can feel it kind of crawling around near your stomach area. What are you doing? What's your next action? Or not your next
Ew,
action,
I'm not.
but you know what I
I'm
mean.
not a troll. I'm not a troll. Spotted it.
All right. Well, we're gonna come back to that. Gonna jump
I'm
to.
not a troll. I'm not a troll.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to fire an anti-proton beam at one of you guys. I'm gonna go for the hope and glory. See if I can knock out a player character immediately. Let's see. Where is it? Kelvin.
Do it!
Well, but Lachlan's gonna die too. Oh. All right, weapons, and this is just the assist. Starship. Oh no, this is the crew as well. So I get to assist and roll it as the crew. Awesome. All right, let's see what happens. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they hit at least, and then I'm gonna roll for the assist. Wow. And the weapons are just a 9. Like what? All right. So the difficulty to hit was 2. Let's see. So that's 4. You know what? I am going to say that the anti-proton beam hits, but also it hits the Enterprise E, which is right next to the Hope and Glory. Because that's too good of. It's not going to take that much damage, but that's too good of an attack to just take threat for it. I got plenty of threat. All right, so now I'm going to roll for the damage anti-proton cannon. Oof. All right, let's do some math here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 37. 37 stress to the Hope of Glory. I am going to divide that by 2. Crap, I have no idea what that would be. Who's good at math? Let's see, I'll pull out
Give
my...
me a second.
I'm using a calculator on my phone. 37 divided by 2. See, I got this game because I was so glad that it didn't have much math in it. But it's
16 and a half, something like that.
Yeah, my calculator says 18 and a half. But I'll just roll it down.
18 and a half.
I'll roll it down to 18. So the Enterprise E is going to take half that. Whew, okay. Now we got to look up all this stuff that it does. Well, let's do the Hope of Glory first because that's the Pete player character ship.
Yep.
At least you go out swinging. You dealt the first damage. They were not. They were mad.
Yeah.
So number 1, you have 5 stress. So, but I'm pretty sure the anti-proton beam cuts through resistance. Pierces 1. Okay, it pierces 1. So it ignores 1. Oh God. Pulling up all these freaking windows. So it ignore. Oh, it also has a blade of armor. What does a blade of armor do again? Doesn't that just give it extra resistance? Let me look it
I
up.
think it does.
Starship. Blade of armor increased by 2. Yeah. So you actually have. I didn't know that. I did not know. So you have 7. So 37. Okay, so 30 damage instead of 30 stress instead of 37 hit. But you only had 3 shields. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. So you have 6 breaches. I'm gonna roll. Alright, so computers is 1. Weapons is the other. Computers again. Structure. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more. And communications. And 1 more. And computers. So computers has 3. Your scale is 5. So if it gets 2 more breaches, you will not have any more computers. I think that's how it works. I'm gonna have to look that up. But all right. So 30 stress, high yield. Weapon inflicts massive damage. It inflicts 1 additional breach. Oh yeah, let me roll that real quick. 12s. I think that's like weapons or something. It's in the middle, so that's all I know. I actually need to do that. Let me do that on the Kelvin ship real quick before I forget, because I'm pretty sure that was one of the transphasic torpedoes thing. So it's 12 again. Weapons. Alright. Now, back to Zeus. Alright, and the other thing was devastating, which just makes it harder to fix. And pierces 1, resistance, which we did, and vicious 1. Where's the vicious? Inflicts X additional damage for each effect rolled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, so plus 30 plus 16. So that's 3 extra whatchamacallit breaches. Time to roll again. Alright, so that's communications. Your communications has 3 breaches now. Weapons has 3. And computers has 4. Alright, so you're not... I'm trying to remember. So I know once it takes out all of your shields, that's bad. But I can't remember if that's what destroys it or not. I don't. I seem to remember it saying something about the breaches is what does it. Does anyone remember? Let's see. Oh, I was doing all that wrong anyway. Oh well. Damages, repairs, no breaches, destroyed. If the total number of breaches exceeds the ship's scale, it's the system is destroyed. Repairing damage, warp core. Stabilizing the reactor. Repairs made. No. Starship weapons. Okay, well. It doesn't actually save. That's very interesting. Alright, so I'm going to say... So you don't have a lot of breaches, but you also don't have no shields. Tell you what. Since your character does have... where is it? Oh, that's not it. Since Captain Adams does have the Kelvin Incursion Commendation, I will tell you that your ship is probably going to... Like, your ship isn't exploding, but it is starting to fall apart. You know how they do... They die really slowly in Star Trek. So, like, I will give... If Captain Adams uses the Kelvin... Does all those things, he can escape his demise of his ship in an escape pod or a shuttle. If he takes a shuttle, I could say Lachlan goes with him. But if he goes in escape... Go ahead.
Basically, he orders the evacuation of all his crew and heads for the shuttle.
All right. So... Oh wait, actually, because your ship took so much damage, you actually have to roll to see who. I think that's the thing that you do. You roll to see if someone takes damage, like a person. Where did I even read that? I know I read it somewhere. It's gonna take me a million years to find it though. Just roll fitness command. Go ahead and make that fitness command roll. You're gonna have to do it anyway. Difficulty 2. I mean, I would use momentum to get dice if I was you to kind of, not die, but it's up to you. This is just to not be, knocked out, basically.
Fitness command or security?
Fitness command. Yeah, because it's more like you're not just you moving physically, but also like keeping your wits about you and your will and your mind and all that stuff.
How many dice do we have left?
You mean momentum?
Yeah.
6.
Momentum.
6.
Can I use all of those?
You said all of those? You want to use all the momentum? Is that what you said?
2.
2?
Actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's because there's a lag and your voice gets cut off sometimes. I mean, if that, I'm fine with it. If it's fine with everyone else.
Go for it.
That'd be yeah.
Sure.
I'm
All right.
making...
So that'll put you down to 4 momentum. So yeah, go ahead and roll. Ooh. So the good news is you got your 2, but you brought it up back to 6. So now you're awake. You're not. You didn't hit your head or anything. So now, do you want to spend 1 determination? If you do, you have to either use a value or a directive. You could spend 2 momentum and get 1 serious complication or vice or limitation. But you're not You're not. Your person isn't damaged. So you know, I will say because you didn't lose any stress, I'll say that you make it to. Are you going to escape pod or shuttle?
Shuttle.
All right. So you and Lachlan, actually, I do have to roll to see how many people survive this. So give me a second. I'm gonna roll dice. Is it
He
20?
did give the
What'd you say?
he did give the evacuation order. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I mean, you still got hit by an anti-proton cannon, so it killed somebody.
Yeah.
So I'll just do the percentage in my head. Okay, so about 75% of the crew, I think you have like 200 crew, so about 150 or so make it out, but definitely a good chunk of them did not make it out. But as the shuttle is flying away from the Hope of Glory, it explodes. And
Wow.
yeah, killing off ships.
Yep.
All right. Now, on the Enterprise, E. Actually, let me see something real quick. Where does the Enterprise E go next? I don't remember. Yeah, Hope of Glory is way later. So I will have to take off some. When we get to the Enterprise, we will deal with that. I'm still gonna have to. Where's my pen? There it is. All right. Enterprise D. Bricado is still not looking too good, but she presses a button. Static is going, through the communications. She says, "Bricado to Charvnek, are the preparations for the Singularity device complete?" And that's Commander Tennyson's ship.
Basically, he says the preparations are underway, Captain.
She gets about 30% of that, but she does hear the word underway, so she just kind of nods to herself and says, "Keep me updated," and then turns off the communications. Mr. Merck, I need you to do some daring engineering. I believe you succeeded last time, so by a lot, so the difficulty is now just 4 to restore those engines. Actually,
Oh man.
as you're working on the engines, Bricata says, "Bricata to engineering. Lieutenant, I'm sorry to have to do this, but we need those communications back up a bit sooner than the engines."
Hi. Okay. Okay. Yeah, not a problem. We'll get it going. Yeah.
All right. So
Uh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Glasgow says, has Ensign Verena made it to engineering?
Now that you mention it, I don't think she has. Did you see the power? You guys have plenty of power now.
Yeah. Well, plenty is a bit of a stretch, says McDaniels. He mutters, "That's a bit of a stretch," but then he goes about his business at tactical.
I mean, better than it was.
He
You know.
goes-
You know?
He goes, McDaniel, can you make sure to go and send a security to see where Ensign Verena is?
As you're saying this, you can tell that he's listening to. There's comms traffic going back and forth everywhere, but it's just really staticky, and you can tell he's trying to listen to something. He seems to hear a word spoken, and then he looks at you and he says, "I'll do it myself, sir." And then he nods over to Vijarn, who goes and takes over tactical, and then McDaniels heads off the bridge.
He keeps a watchful eye on the captain.
All right. Mark, you want to roll that daring daring engineering. If you're gonna just work on the sensors, it'll be a difficulty 2 instead of a 4, which is what the warp core would be. So difficulty 2, daring engineering. The ship will assist in this. Well, no, the ship can't assist because you're trying to repair the thing that the ship would be assisting with.
Okay, so it'll be difficulty 2.
Yep.
Um, do I get the reduced difficulty for being at the native station still?
Sure. Yeah. So difficulty 1.
Oh, okay. So can I buy 1 dice? Do we have momentum to buy a dice?
Yeah.
Just
You
given
got
how this
6
works.
momentum. Yeah. You got 6 momentum. So you got plenty.
Actually, I might buy 2 dice then,
Yeah. That's fine.
because you know how this works. You
Yeah.
know how this works.
Back to 4 momentum. All right. Wow. Okay.
Oh, no way.
So you got
All
back
right.
up to 6 momentum. I think that's the first time you've ever rolled well as Merc, ever
No,
in
no, this is
2
weird.
years.
I'm scared too.
All right. So the good news is, yeah, your ship's communications begin to come back online. I mean, it's still gonna, yeah, it's still gonna be a bit, staticky, but it's way better than it was, and it's just gonna keep getting better, unless you get attacked again. But yeah, you could probably hear like 95% of what's being said. Rather, before it was like 25%. So yeah,
Here's a. How about now, Captain? Try it now. I think you have it back now.
you could tell when she replies. There's a level of annoyance in her voice. She kind of rubs her temple and says, "I thank you, Lieutenant Merck," and then turns off the communications.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Trying to impress people.
Yeah. Well, that's Merc for you. All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys want to do on the bridge before we jump over to the Charvanek real quick? He says real quick.
Basically, Lasgo turns to the captain. You want to get that headache checked out?
She looks over and says,
'Cause it's gonna.
I my station is here.
Or do you want the doctor to come and up and?
The doctor's probably going to be having his hands full in sick bay. If I know Braxton, and I do, he's going to want to deal with the people that he can actually save. And she kind of looks away when she says that.
Captain, we need you at your full peak.
Damn it,
With-
Commander, I want you to just
with
do your
the-
job and stop hassling me about mine.
Okay, Captain.
Thank you, Commander. Uh, you see Travor, Lasco's father, sitting here, and he looks over to you and slowly shakes his head. You get the feeling that
He
he
looks.
is trying to tell you that she is not okay.
He hits his comm badge and says, "Braxton, Braxton's the bridge."
When you do that, she stands up, and now I have to roll for her. She says, "Damn it, Commander, I told you," and then she kind of gets lightheaded, and she starts to stumble, but then she catches herself, and she glares at you, and just before she says anything else, Admiral Riker says, "Captain, you will see the doctor as your first officer suggests. Is that understood?" And she just nods meekly and sits back down. It will be,
Thank you, Admiral.
Braxton won't show up till next scene or next turn.
Yeah,
He
he just wants her to get checked over because
Right.
he's been noticing her rubbing her temple, and it's like
and her
that's
irritability.
clearly she's got a migraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Admiral nods to you and he says he walks around the back of the tactical console and comes and sits down in the counselor's chair and looks over between both of you and he says, I'm just here for oversight purposes. I'm not here to take command, Captain. But if you continue to be demoralizing, Jesus, that word, to your bridge crew, I will have no recourse, but to put Commander Zed in charge. And she just nods back to him, says, "Yes, Admiral." All right. If there's nothing else, we're gonna jump to the to the Charvanek. Let's see. Is Tennyson in the cargo bay overseeing the development of this device, or is he on the bridge overseeing, his ship?
He's in. He's oversighting the. In the cargo bay. He's left his first officer in charge
Okay.
on the bridge.
As you're overseeing the preparations in the cargo bay, your father, Chairman Till of the Tal Shiar, is kind of just grunting and moaning and talking to your medical officer, Dr. Crestru, and your chief engineer about this device. And he's like, we just don't, it may take too long to activate once we beam it over to the ship. And he looks over to you, Commander Tennyson. He says, "Son, I recommend we send a detachment of ground troops and Marines to protect it while it takes a moment to activate."
That means they have to select a team to go over there.
Well, the Morrigan is crewed by Marines, so they've pretty much got that handled. The likelihood of them surviving, though, is less than. And he looks at a tricorder and looks back to you and he says, less than 5%. And that's when he also says, but if we can get this thing activated in time, then this thing should be ready to be transported. We just have to get close enough.
I think so as well. He goes, in case of a backup plan, we don't have it ready in time. He hits his comm badge goes over to a terminal and contacts the Morrigan.
Okay. This is Colonel Nars of the Morrigan. Go ahead.
Colonel, if we don't get this activated, it may take some time to activate. We need you guys. We may need you guys to go over with the bomb. So
As expected, we thought this might be the case. We will select a few good and reliable Marines and security officers to protect it.
the likelihood of them returning is about 5%.
And Chairman Till
To choose wisely.
says less than 5%. And then
Less than 5%.
the colonel, who's overheard him, says, "We know what our job is and we know the risks. That's why we signed up." Colonel Nar's out. And yeah. There is
At least we got them on board.
well, there's one other person that you need to let know before you just start beaming stuff over to the enemy ship. You know who that is, right?
Captain Mikado.
Yep. So you contact her, I assume?
He kind of. Yeah.
Okay. At the moment, she's probably getting a medical tricorder shoved in her face, so she's really annoyed right now. And she says, "This is Captain Bricado of the Enterprise D. What can I do for you, Commander Tennyson?"
We have the problem is that it's gonna may take too long to activate. So we've asked the Marines if they can escort it on the ship, be able to detect it while it's on the ship. Giving it time to activate.
I understand. If you're the one who's giving me this advice, then I will take it seriously. Or is this your father's bidding.
It looks at his dad and he says, "My advice."
And now we will go to a flashback. So in this flashback, it's got the flashback trait, which means nothing that you do in this flashback should affect the future events. Commander Tennyson and his medical officer, Dr. Crestrue, is sitting in a kind of a diplomatic suite. Maybe it's a ready room or maybe it's a conference room, but they're awaiting the arrival of Captain Brucata, who requested that she come aboard and see her old. Tennyson was her second officer or first officer?
Again,
Second officer, yeah, because he was also security chief. And she
yeah,
brings Dr. Tall with her because Dr. Tall knows Dr. Crestrew and thinks maybe they might have something to discuss. Speaking of which, as the two women enter, they, along with a third woman, let's see, where is it? Please tell me I did. I might have not actually got the.
uh,
I don't think I did actually get the thing picture. Oh well, I will grab it in a second. But they enter with Colonel Nars, and Brucato takes a seat at the seat across from Tennyson. And Dr. Crestrew kind of nods to Dr. Tall and gives her a slight smile and walks over and says, "It's good to see you again, Doctor."
You as well. How have you been doing?
She kind of gives you a slightly somber look and says, "I've been doing about as fine as I can be under the circumstances. We have spent many weeks running from this horrible intergalactic invader, but otherwise, I do believe I am doing well. What brings you over to the? Here it is. What brings you over to the Charvenet? Besides your captain, of course."
Well, I had done some. Um, I've always had an interest in Romulan techniques. You know, if you get my meaning. And she sort of
She was nodding.
just has a small smile.
She was nodding when you said that, and then when you said "if you know what I mean," she kind of looked at you confused. She says, "Well, we did meet when you attempted to invade my privacy and look at my shall we say medical hollow program. So yes, I
Oh,
think
that
I
was
do.
yours. Oh,
I told you
I
that.
didn't know.
I told you that before when we met on the starbase. Do you not remember?"
Oh yeah, Tal is trying to sort of like make it sound as if she doesn't remember. She's trying to
Oh.
sort of lighten up the conversation.
She kind of
Like, oh yeah, of course, yes, of course. I remember now. Yes, of course. I didn't mean anything by it. So.
the Romulan smirks slightly, but then shakes her head and says, "Well, Miss or Doctor Tall, um, would you prefer if I called you Rosa in a professional manner, of course?"
Of course, I don't mind at all.
The device that the command staff will be determining of what type to send to deploy to the Kelvin ship. Um, I have been suggesting that we put some sort of um, biological component to it, but they say that they will only do that if absolutely necessary, and will only do that with another device because they don't want whatever they decide to put over there to negatively affect um, the device that they decide to send. There have been rumors that they may consider a black hole weapon, and since the antimatter bomb didn't do much, but so far it's all speculation.
Hmm. And what would you send?
I would send a battalion of Tal Shiar operatives and destroy every last Kelvin
Ah,
on that
of
ship.
course,
She kind of
of course.
chuckles a little bit.
Would you not let them sit on your program for a while before you destroy them?
She think
For science and
she
medicine.
she thinks she frowns, but she thinks about it for a second and she says, uh, "No, I don't think I would give them the time to formulate a plan. They are, as we well know, they are very intelligent, and if you give them an inch, they will take a mile."
That is quite true. Yes. Mm. Well, and she looks around a bit. This is fun, right?
She cocks her head. What do you mean?
Well, uh, I'm surrounded by people that I have a fascination for, and that is you, by the way. And so she sort of leans towards it.
She raises a
And
brow.
don't worry, it's all scientific.
I see. Well, it is good to know that my scientific intellect is one of the forerunning interests of Federation scientists and medical professionals.
Oh, I don't know about Federation. That's just me talking, by the way.
I see. Well, I believe our captain and the good colonel would like to speak with my commander, so perhaps we should kind of make our way over. Well, she doesn't say kind of, but she says perhaps we should make our way over and join in on the conversation.
Sure, I will follow.
So Captain Bricata has sat down, and at first she's talking to Commander Tennis and her old buddy, who she hasn't seen for months. Remember, because you guys have been at warp for a really long time, evading the Kelvins.
Yeah.
Um, and she says, Commander Tennyson, let me ask you something. First of all, we haven't seen each other for so long. Um, but you're commanding a starship now. You used to be the first officer of the starbase on Kochab. Which do you prefer, being on a starbase as a commanding officer or on a starship?
Starship.
Ah, well, even though a starbase had thousands of people, you prefer the quaint leadership of mere hundreds?
Yep.
She smiles
And
and
plus, it keeps me on the move.
nods and then reaches over and kind of pats him playfully on the shoulder, and she says, "Man, I have missed you. I've missed a lot of my former colleagues. Feels like you guys, everyone is just being deployed to various locations, and I'm not. I feel like I might not see you guys anymore. But anyway, this is Colonel Avidra Nars, and Nars, when Nars gives you that a curt military nod, she doesn't make any like emotional movement with her face at all. She's got like the one um, cybernetic eye that kind of does that as it like zooms in and then zooms out. Um, as she's like trying to potentially just gauge your reaction or gauge your you know just gauge you in general. Um, and Bricata leans forward and she says, "We've been discussing the possibility of ground troops or boarders, sending boarders over to the Kelvin scout ship when we encounter it again. But there's a bit of an issue. There's a bit of a problem that the two that we're having." And Colonel Nars just kind of steps in and she says, "I do not trust your father."
Ah,
Is that all you have to say?
he
Is
always
oh
uh, he goes, basically, my father. Mm,
he is Tal Shiar.
I don't know much about his. Yes, he is. He doesn't disclose anything to me of the nature of his work. And Frankly, he knows that if he leaves my ship, he's going to be more in danger. So there's a catch 22. He is either going to have to trust us, or is probably going to be in worse worse consequences than being dead. I know that.
Captain Brocado nods and says, "Well, we bring this up for a specific reason. We were talking about combining some of the various military factions together in Mrs. Colonel Nar's unit. Um, having some Romulans, some Klingons, some Cardassians, various other, even the infamous clones under her command to be deployed as away teams, borders, ground troops, infantry, however you want to call it. Your strictly military um, might, as they were." And then the colonel says, "But the problem is, we want to ensure that we do not take any unnecessary risks, if you understand my
How
meaning."
about, yes, when we deploy troops with you, what if we only select the ones that are from the Romulan military? If it makes all parties happy,
Captain Brocada
no
not
Tashi agents.
Captain Brocada smiles and says, "See, that's why I like you. That's why I came to you first. I could have gone to the general on the Galron, or um, the legate that commands the Cardassian vessel Damar, but I came to you first because I know you and I trust you. And if you're certain that your military will fight alongside ours, and then then I'm fine with that." And Colonel Nars says, "Well,
Okay.
yes, but we have to ensure that your military, the Romulans, will not simply allow our teams and our people to die while they flee or seek any type of ridiculous glory. It's one unit under my command.
Hmm.
Are you certain that your people will follow my lead?"
Yes, yes. Because I'll give him strict instructions to follow your lead.
The two women exchange looks, and then they both kind of look over to Dr. Tal and Dr. Crestrew, and Captain Brocada asks Dr. Tal, "Do you have any opinion on the matter, Doctor?"
Uh, Consider me not here at all. No.
Very well. Captain Brocada stands up and hands her, gives her hand to Commander Tennyson,
He takes it.
and she kind of clasps his shoulder, his elbow, and pulls him in close and shakes his hand, and she says, "When all this goes down, your opinion will matter more to me than anyone else on this ship. If you are absolutely
Okay.
certain that sending these troops will not be a waste of human or of life in general, then your input is what I need. I will not take the word of any other Romulan on this ship but yours."
Thank you, Captain.
She gives you a big smile and she says, "Well, it's been great, but we've got to go prepare for this command and strategy meeting to decide what kind of device we're going to send over there." And she stands up and
Yes.
nods to everyone. Is there anything that anybody else would like to say or do before we depart the flashback scene?
No?
All right.
As Dr. Toll has something.
point, I mean, Bepstal is just looks back at her Romulan compatriot and starts talking with her again about some medical bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Then they depart, and we go back to the present on the Charvanek, and Captain Bricata says, "If you're sure that we need these troops to protect it, then we will send them, but only if you're sure, Commander Tennyson."
I'm 100% sure. If we don't send them, the likelihood of it not going off is extremely high.
All right, we'll do it. Have you already contacted the Morrigan?
Yes.
Great. Make it so. Bricata out. All right, now we need to roll control engineering to transport the device to the Kelvin ship. So
Control engineering?
I'll say presence engineering for your character if you're the one giving the order, and then I will roll for an NPC with my D20, real life D20. Because I actually made a chief engineer that could do it, but actually let me see. Yeah, I might actually just use that chief engineer Varun. Yeah, I'll just use that control engineering. Because I'm pretty sure the dice that I just rolled is worse. Yeah, so he got 2 successes. I'll roll for the ship, and make sure you roll your presence engineering. Sensors engineering. Oof, engineering's only a 1. All right, so we got 3 successes. The difficulty. I'm saying the difficulty is 3 because yeah, you're at first of all you're at. Let me move you to this. Um, close range, medium range. Yeah, you're at long range, and yeah, so yeah, it's definitely difficulty 3. However, you successfully transported this black hole device, but now you need to roll a sanity check. I'm actually gonna roll for Crestru. Let's see if she goes crazy like Brucata. It's gonna be control or presence medicine, difficulty 2, unless you have something to reduce it.
It's going to be presence with him.
All right,
And is
fair
it
enough.
presence medicine?
Yes.
Exposure? Yes, he's going to have that.
Oof. She did really good.
Can't persuade him.
Let's see what Chairman
Uh,
Till gets.
how many?
Hmm? What'd you say?
I was wondering how. Okay, 6. Can I use 2 of them
Sure. I mean, I don't
or
care.
not?
Do you guys care if Mac uses 2? You have six momentum.
Yeah, 6. That's why I'm asking.
All right, go for it.
Because his medicine is crap as.
Yeah. You need at least 2. Oh, you've got it. See, good thing you got that. You spent those 2 momentum. You would not have gotten that. So yeah, you could feel the
Yeah,
presence of the Kelvin on your mind, but you managed to hold firm. However, your father stumbles and kind of falls off this whatever he's standing on, and kind of cries out in pain.
he runs over and gets the doctor to actually check him over.
And the doctor does so. But we in the let me see. Let me take that note. Till goes nuts and falls. All right. Doctor Cress checks. All right. So, Mr. D-Man, I sent you a message a while ago. Did about Trask 2 on Voyager. Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay. So, then in that case, we are gonna jump to Voyager. Um, the Voyager is scanning. Mac, you have your chief engineer, the hologram Fen. What is Fen doing? Oh, and just so you know, let me first before we do any of that, let me tell you what's going on with your ship because that's probably the most important part. I'll tell you Charvanek too.
Yeah.
So the Charvanek is where is it? Oh, there it is. It has one power, but it has four shields, and so the Voyager though
Okay.
is not doing well. The Voyager has one power, zero shields, and three breaches. So what is Fen doing?
Ben is fixing up the ship.
All right. Let's look at the Voyager character sheet.
He's gonna prioritize each section into whatever it is high priority.
Fuck, where is it? PC ships. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right. So it's got a breach in engines, sensors, and communications. Your job is recon, so sensors obviously is good. But if you don't have communications, then all the sensor data that you get, you can't send it to the other ships. So which one are you gonna work on first, or which of the three, I should say, because there's three to choose from.
Without engines, we can't power the sensors and communications. So he's gonna
Oh,
work
actually,
on the
you
engines.
can because
Okay.
wait.
Okay.
Let me explain the how. And as far as I know, this is how it works. Yes, the warp core itself is not deactivated. It's just been interfered with enough to drop you out of warp and keep you from going back to warp. So you still have power going throughout the ship. You also have reserve power like auxiliary reactors and fusion
Okay.
reactors and other things. So um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, go ahead and decide.
He's gonna go and put the communications back online.
All right. So
Without that,
yeah. All right.
yeah.
So control engineering difficulty 2.
Yay! I know some things are going to apply here, like engineering repairs, emergency repairs, system maintenance, and computers.
I mean,
Maybe.
just click on yes for focus. Use the because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Where is? Oh, there.
See if there's any tanks.
And if you get any bonus momentum or any momentum, you can put it to shields. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the ship will not be
Um.
assisting. Hey, does
So
Trask want to
difficulty two.
assist? I believe Trask is the XO, so if he wants to assist, either he can give a direct from the bridge or rally, or maybe not. It's up to you. Sorry, what was you saying, Matt?
So difficulty.
Difficulty
Difficulty
2.
two.
Yep.
I got two.
All right. So you got
He
it.
gets ready for. Yep.
All right. Let me
So
change that to 2 breaches.
he,
Sorry. Go ahead.
he gets ready to do the next task when.
Yeah, that's gonna be next turn.
Yeah.
You have
He
communications,
he. Yeah. He goes. Communications is back up online.
and on the bridge, Mr. Tuvok says, "Good work, Lieutenant." So now, what is Trask?
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to go if you have something else.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay. So what is Trask 2 doing?
Um, he is looking. He wants to see if his directive has changed.
His personal directive or the directive for Starfleet?
His personal directive.
I mean, no, it's pretty much it's the same as. Let me find it. Kelvin Note 1, United in
Well, his
Galactic
last direct
Defense.
no, his last directive was to
Are you talking about when he was on the Starbase? On
yep,
Solar
that was
Ring
the
1?
last directive he got.
Oh yeah. Well, he was put in the brig temporarily. So I think I asked you the last time you were on is when his nanite was removed, was he acting like, "Oh, thank you that you removed my nanite. Now go about my business," or was he continuing to act like, "Screw you guys, I'm for the infamous"? Because it's up to
No, he wasn't shouting it from the
okay.
rooftop.
I think that's
It
yeah. That's
was
that's probably why he was made XO of Voyager. So. So I will say that since he's since he's not shouting it from the rooftops, I will say that his new directive is in line with what Starfleet wants because otherwise
okay.
Jita in the infamous Dreadnought Calamari killer would not be there to help. So he's basically, and she is, in the infamous's sense, in the sense of the infamous, she would be his direct superior. But in Starfleet sense, that would be Captain Tuvok. So right for the moment, they are in sync.
Okay.
Because the Kelvin threat is like a really big threat to everyone.
Well, what's his name was on the ship?
Who?
The infamous himself.
On what ship? Which ship are you talking about?
Was on the scout ship.
He might have seen a clone, a Dren clone, but I mean, there's thousands of them, so he probably didn't see the infamous himself. I don't think I would have put him in that risky position. And also, you're talking about Trask 1. Trask 1 is on the Kelvin ship. Trask 2 doesn't even know
Right.
what he's what
Right, but I'm just saying.
right. So as far as he knows, keep attacking the Kelvin ship.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, he's not gonna do anything.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need both of you to make a control or presence medicine check. Except in the holograms case, it's gonna be control engineering because he's a hologram. So this is the sanity check of 2, unless you have something that reduces it or increases it. Although I don't know why you would have anything that increases it.
Can you go insane if you're already nuts?
What is his sanity at? Well, his sanity would be whatever Trask 1's was before he got.
7. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's slowly going that way. He's not as bad as Brucato though. All right. So yeah, he remains at 7. And what about Finn? Do you have Finn? Yeah, you must have Finn's character sheet. I think I moved it there, Lieutenant Finn. Yeah. Hopefully it says copy. Yeah, because it still says hologram. Are you rolling, Mac? Is Mac even on? Yeah. Can you hear me, Mac? Oh, he said BRB. Okay. Um, that was just a minute ago. You know what? I'm just gonna roll for Mac. Because, yeah, it's just a hologram anyway. Control, engineering.
Well, how's the hologram gonna go insane? I mean,
Well, Verena almost did. Verena could sense. Basically, what the android, discovered is that they used some kind of particle beam to kind of amplify it or some bullshit. So there was some technology involved. But yeah, the hologram's fine. All right, so on the Kelvin ship, what is Trask 1 doing? Is he still heading towards the engine room with a? Oh no, he's slapping at the trill thing.
yeah.
All right, that
I'm
is
not a troll.
yeah, that's definitely going to be a control security to try to get that thing off of him. I'm gonna say difficulty 2 because it's kind of got like these suction cups that are like suctioning onto his stomach as it crawls up him, kind of like a leech.
I'm using survival as a focus.
I mean, sure. That works. All right, you got it. So you basically slap it off of you, but it pulls a good chunk of skin off as it lands on the floor. Do you kill it?
Yes.
All right, that's not a roll. It's not that hard to stomp on. Um,
Stomp, stomp.
and as you're stomping on them, you notice that almost like cockroaches, there's like hundreds of them all around you, and they're slowly like when they're on the floor, they move pretty quickly, but like once they get to like a wall or something they have to crawl up of, they kind of just move a lot slower. So like you're able to like stomp on them relatively easily, but you know that you don't want them getting onto you. And at that moment, you actually hear the familiar sound. Well, I don't know how familiar it would be. I think it would be pretty familiar for him. But he hears the sound of a Romulan transporter beam just inside. Actually, you have to pick where it's to be transported. Mac, are you back yet? Probably not. Great. So I have to pick that. Um, So it's got to be transported either the bridge or the engine room. I'm gonna say for dramatic purposes and because he's like going in that room, it's the engine room. So yeah, you as you're heading down the corridor towards the engine room, you hear the familiar sound of a Romulan transporter beam, followed immediately by several Federation transporter beams. Do you continue?
Well, first when he hears the Romulan transporter beam, he's like, "Great, the Romulans." And
Yeah.
then when he hears Federation, he's like, "Thank God for it." You.
All right, so I'm guessing you head that way. Mac, are you back
Yes.
yet? Because you got to. I guess not. Um, and you see probably a couple dozen Marines and Romulan and Klingon and Cardassian and Jem'Hadar, all kinds of foot soldiers have beamed in, and they're surrounding this large device in the engine room of this scout ship. Where in the world is the engine room? Uh, probably it's probably the one thing I didn't make for the Kelvin ship. Oh well, I'll use something else for that. I'll use that, yeah. And you see, as this device is being transported in, and all these individuals are kind of surrounding it, you see behind it what you imagine would be the power, not the power center, but the engine core of the entire ship. And from the engine core, there's electricity, sparking, but you also see massive tentacles sprouting from the ground. Um, and below those tentacles is glowing purple. Um, Let me get Nico since he's gonna be here in a second. Nico, where is Nico? There it is. All right, and I'll put Trask's there too. All right, so that is what you see. So right there, put Nico there. Um, However, you do also see in the distance a couple of several dozen feet tall giants moving very quickly in your direction and the direction of this device that has been transported into their engine room.
Wonderful.
Are you back yet, Mac? Because I'm going to have to jump to another scene. I guess not. All right, so the Calvin ship is going to attack next with its tentacles at anything in its path, which I don't think. I'll make sure. Let me look at it. Yeah, so nobody is yet in its path. So,
Hello.
what was that? Someone said something?
Continue.
Oh, you back? Um, I just had Nico beam over to with the bomb in the engine room. Do you want to? And Trask is also there. Do you want to do or say anything before we jump to The Kelvin ship annihilating another.
No.
All right.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead. Are you there?
is Trust there?
Is who? Yeah, Trask is in the same room
Trust.
as you. Yeah.
He goes, ain't you supposed to be on the uh and up where's Trust to? Where's
Voyager.
the Trust?
Voyager.
He goes, you're supposed to be XO on Voyager. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be on Voyager.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Me and River were
Oh.
in the Andromeda Galaxy, and he decided to crash the ship into this thing. I've speared a couple. I've been running for my life. You know, the huge. How have you been doing?
He goes, oh shit. He hits it. Can he? He goes. He tries to hit his communication.
Ooh,
See if
good.
that works.
Uh, hmm. I mean, it shouldn't just because of, their EMF being able to prevent electronic stuff. But let me check and see if they have a specific thing to prevent communications. Because if not, then it will just be a roll. No, they do not. So yeah, it'll be a control engineering difficulty 0, but if you get a complication, then it's going to be really, really staticky, and they probably won't hear what you're trying to say. And also, they attacked someone.
Okay. Yeah. He's going control engineering. Oh,
Yep.
that's a pretty decent control. I didn't realize his control engineering was that. Obviously, that's understandable why it's okay. Hmm. And I'll just roll for it to see how he does.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're doing.
Oh,
All right, so you have, let's
is it?
see. Where's the momentum at? 4. Are you at 4? And then plus 2 is 6. Yeah. So you're at 6 momentum. Um, yeah, you get to. Who are you contacting? The Morgan, since that's where he came from? Or Voyager?
Yep.
Or Bricado? Okay, so.
He'll be trying to contact Voyager.
Alright. This is Captain Tuvok. He looks. He turns from Commander Trask as he was just talking to him, and then you contact him, and he says, "Oh, this is Captain Tuvok aboard the Voyager. How may I help you, Lieutenant Nico?"
Captain, I believe you have an imposter on your ship.
What?
I got your XO with me, Commander Trask. And he says, Trask, can you say something?
Oh, now it works. When I said what, that's when I first clicked that thing. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
He says, he goes, Trask, say something.
Something.
Wow, that helps.
Oh, that
Greetings.
helps.
Greetings, Captain Tuvok. From the Andromeda Galaxy.
Down in the Andromeda Galaxy.
Captain Tuvok turns to.
We were the last time I checked outside.
Tuvok turns to Trask and waits a half a second to see if he's got any decent explanation, but then looks to the security chief to kind of stand guard over this guy. Make
Well,
sure he
clearly Clearly, he's an imposter. I mean, he's on a foreign ship.
You know what? We'll have to figure out who's the real Trask
Ask.
next time. We also I rolled for the damage of shooting at. I'm gonna say that's move this up here. This is the damage to shoot at the Keldon class ship, the Damar, and it is gone. I still gotta do. By next game, I'll have the Enterprise E's damage done. But yeah, so that is where we're going to end for now. We made it 2 acts. We only got 4 more to go. Yeah, that's why combat is such a freaking task. They almost made it streamlined, and then they added resistance and all this other stuff. And I'm like, why'd you do that? That didn't even make sense. Shouldn't resistance just be shields anyway? But anyway.
Yeah. So basically, he has no choice but to get Trask to help him anyway
Yeah. Well,
to defend the bomb.
yeah, you're right. Yep, you are definitely right.
He's gonna fight. He's gonna go. Well, the likelihood of us leaving is unlikely. So, yeah, the other one has to explain themselves.
Yeah.
It's 2% better than what I had 5 minutes ago. Oh, by the way, do you have an extra phaser, or do I have to make another spear?
I'm assuming that they have rifles and sidearms, so they can give you a sidearm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a sidearm and goes, here. Here's a sidearm for you. So you don't have to make another spear.
Thank you.
Matt, did you roleplay as every single one of you? No, you didn't roleplay as Riza or Runa this time, did you?
Yeah.
I was trying to get to that, but yeah, I didn't. But next time I definitely probably will. So that's yep, all of them. But them. Okay. I'm gonna have to obviously do reputation after the fact.